맨날 다음이라고만 하고.
아빠를 안 보고 있는 것 같으면서도 다 보고 있다, 수환이.
팀장님, 기차 타셨어요?
점심 전에 들어갈 것 같으니까.
돌았냐 이 새끼야?
현재 대전역에 군대를 배치하여 야 빨리 와!
It's the last train to Busan. After this, it's out of service. You can probably blame the zombies. They are making people nervous. We gotta go. Oh God, oh no! Oh God, no!
Trains. They can be modes of transportation. They can be models for hobby enthusiasts. They can be 90s and 2000s pop rock bands. And they can be moving death traps when one is trapped aboard with people infected with a virus that turns them into flesh-eating zombies, which brings me to today's movie in question. Today, myself and my usual band are here to talk about the K-horror film from 2016, one of the biggest films in South Korea history, Train to Busan. But I'm not riding the rails alone. No, 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 no. First up is a man who I'd like to think would sacrifice himself to save everyone else in the train car. And I certainly know if I was with him, I would happily let him do that. Fear not, though, I would make sure your kids get to some safety, probably. My pal, David, how are you doing this evening? And what are you drinking?
I had a couple of shots of tequila right before this started, so that's what I had.
Sure. How far? Like hours ago? I mean, this is
20 minutes ago.
okay. Okay. Well, that's good. You could have waited 20 minutes. Next up is a man who would most likely be killed by the zombies early on because while everyone else on the train would be very quiet and standing still, he couldn't help himself to ask the person next to him if they've seen a Nora yet. Everybody's friend, Mr. Christopher Morris. How are you doing this fine evening?
Well
And
done.
What
Well
what
done.
are you drinking, my friend?
Have you guys seen that? I'm doing well. I am drinking in my new Stella glass. Look at this. It's a repeat IPA. You know what? There's an IPA called Hazy Train. So if I let's pretend I'm drinking Hazy Train, which is a
Interesting.
perfect
Well,
perfect
I
drink. What are
didn't-
you drinking, Michael?
I didn't drink something 20 minutes ago. I didn't pretend the name of my drink is Hazy Train. What I'm drinking, my friends, is something called soju, which is a Korean liqueur.
Wow,
This is
that is great.
Hanjan peach soju, a rice wine, because I put some goddamn effort into today's show. So let's
You bought that?
I bought that today for this.
Wow, that's
Have a little
impressive.
sippy right now.
That is great. You probably hate
it
that.
is.
It's
I
probably,
don't hate it.
delightful.
I
Yeah.
really don't hate it because I thought it was going to hit me harder.
Rice wine.
And then
Is it like sake at all? I'm sure you haven't had.
I think they said, like, I was reading something. The guy said you think it's
What's up with
almost like
Dave's lighting?
vodka, but then it's not as biting, and it's not at all. Like I thought it was going to be.
It's a little
It was
sweet.
going to kill me. It's peach flavored, so it starts and then
Oh my god.
it stops. Well, it only comes in flavors: peach, blueberry, apple. I'm going to have a little more of this.
It is ironic that you were the only one who went
right. I
out
went
of your
above and
way to
beyond.
do that because you proudly proclaim that you're mailing it in for the editing
Oh yes,
by purposely choosing
100%.
foreign language film, which was I'm very excited to do. It's a great movie.
This
It
was
was a great movie.
It was very entertaining.
Yes, it
Very
was
entertaining.
entertaining. It was horrific.
Not the.
It was imaginative
I'm
to a
going to switch
degree,
chairs.
It was.
and
Mhm.
I sobbed at the end. I cried. I didn't think I would cry at a zombie movie like
I did not cry at all.
I see.
0 tears came out of my body last
Chris,
night.
did you cry?
I'm an old softie, but just the girl singing, I wouldn't say I definitely that was great. Like
So it's funny though. The two dads didn't cry, and when he's picturing his daughter being born, and he slowly falls off
Yeah.
the train, and she's
just
screaming,
a little
I'm
melodramatic,
sobbing.
but that was great. Yeah,
I
no,
was sobbing there. And I've seen it
somehow
before too.
in my old age, I'm such a softie. I am just like get choked up a little, but this was more just mostly entertaining. I actually
Yes,
thought the
it was-
little girl, she might have been the best. She might have given the best performance.
She was
right?
awesome.
She was
Especially-
really
and
great.
at the end, that screaming was like,
Yeah, and when she's doing the singing.
oh yeah.
So I watched this movie the first time probably 5 years ago. Probably long. When did it come out? 2016.
2016.
Did you already do your magic?
I
Explain
haven't done
everything?
that yet. No, but I
Okay,
did
why don't you
watch
do
it.
that? Mhm.
I watched it back in 2020. That's the first time I watched it. Yeah, it came out in 2016.
Did you do it for movie month?
I did do it for movie month. It was
I probably haven't
directed
seen
by, I'm going to butcher these names. I'm going to try my best. Yeon Sang-ho, written by Park Jo-suk and Yeon Sang-ho, and starring Gong Yoo, Young Yoo-mi, Ma Dong-seok, Kim Suan, Kim Young-sung, and for the second time we've seen this guy,
Yeah,
Choi
he's in
Woo-sik,
Parasite.
the young kid,
The baseball
player, was the kid in Parasite, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
Yes, remember him?
Yeah, he was
the
the son in Parasite.
Yep, the tutor there that went. Yep.
All right. So the father, I thought
What's
was
the stats?
well. I thought the father was a really good actor. I don't know what you guys.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was great. Yeah, he was great in that role.
Yeah.
And
Give it a
he
little-
obviously had the arc,
Yeah.
He did. Yep.
the character arc.
The heavy was the biggest fucking piece of shit I've ever
Yeah,
seen. in any
he did not
movie.
have a character arc. He was a little bit over the top.
He
A
was
little
one
bit
note.
of. I mean,
One
how many
note.
people could he throw into the zombies?
Oh, that guy.
So,
yeah.
I don't remember who recommended this. Maybe my buddy Dave. But the first time I saw it, did I watch? I think I watched it once, and then I watched with the kids, and they loved it. Aiden proclaimed this his favorite movie at one point of all time.
Oh,
For-
Jesus.
for a little
Director Edgar
stretch.
Wright said it was the best zombie movie he's seen in forever. Like that's
Well, they did such a good job of. It wasn't like predictable. They had obviously it wasn't just a zombie movie, but you had the. I loved how they showed the beginning with the deer, the
Yeah.
deer zombie, and then just the concept of it all taking place on the train was great.
because you're
I thought that
going
was-
someplace that's not safe. You're on someplace that's not like you're trapped, and you're also
Yep.
yeah. So
And then
that-
the compassion, the characters, you had some that were what would you do in a crisis situation? Some people would act like absolute trash, which we find out at the end.
and
I'll
you
bang out
love
the plot
you love it.
soon.
They get their
And then the
comeuppance.
other people, other people, just do show compassion and try to help everybody else. But it's very entertaining. But go
So
ahead.
thi-
What's the
This
stats?
has Rotten Tomato score of 95% with the critics,
Wow.
89% with the audience, a Metacritic score of 73. on a budget of 8.5 million. I assume that's US dollars. That's because I read it off of the usual box office website I check. It has a box office of 98 million worldwide. And at least at the time, I don't know what it is now, but at the time, it was the sixth highest grossing domestic film of all time for South Korea. Awards didn't win, wasn't in the Academy Awards or anything, but in the Asian Film Awards, it was nominated for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Editing, Best Visual Effects, and Costume Design. And before I forget, I just wanted to mention one of my favorite shots was so early on when the train just started taking off, and there's no sound, and you just see something run up and take like someone standing near the train so quickly, just and you like
just get onto the train.
Nobody
right?
noticed
and the guy
it.
does a double take.
It wasn't
right?
even the train. No, it was like someone just jumped on a person as the train was leaving. Not the person getting on the train. It was someone getting jumped from
on
one of the
platform.
zombies. It was
Zombies are pretty freakish too.
Zombies were. They reminded me of like the 28 days later.
It was just like 28 days.
Yeah,
28 days later. Which I gotta watch. I'm excited that new one's coming out.
I've only seen the first one. I've never saw. Is it 28?
I don't
weeks?
think I saw 20. Right, it must be 28 weeks later.
Did Danny
Probably
Boyle
not
direct them
28
all?
months.
I don't even know.
I think he did. I tried to get the kids to watch. I hadn't watched since the early 2000s. We watched the trailer. It looks so old, the trailer.
Oh, right.
Which I guess it is. But so I do think it's underrated, some of the shots and the slow motion, and when they did the scene in the train they did like a slow motion shot. So I don't know if you've ever seen Old Boy. I'm sure you've heard of it, Mikey. There's a famous scene. It's not a spoiler because it doesn't spoil anything. There's a famous scene with a guy with a hammer, and he has to fight people in a narrow hallway, like a million people.
Oh, really?
It reminded me a little of that. You know what I mean? Like they have to get to the other train, and they have to just
hack their way
get through these people, not people, zombies. So
they're not people anymore.
Yeah.
And I love I don't even know like the character names, but that guy.
Have no.
The husband with the
best.
He was
he
the best.
called him asshole.
Yeah.
His lines were the best.
Hey,
his
idiot,
death
asshole.
was devastating.
Oh, he saved everybody.
Those assholes didn't open the door.
Like, take care of my wife. His wife.
That guy
was like, that's the baby's.
Big Father was the best character in the movie, I thought. What's his name?
What?
The big guy. What was his name?
The big guy with the. I don't remember.
That's what we're talking about.
I do not remember his name.
I have the plot right here,
yeah.
And I didn't write his name down. I actually didn't even mention him, even though he's so great. He's like, oh, you're a fun manager,
You're used, yeah. Oh, Dave's on one phone and on another phone.
My friend was just calling me. Sorry.
Let me bang out the really quick plot.
Yeah.
Put on my Jimmy Conway glasses. Fund manager Seok Woo isn't close to his daughter, but he does agree to take her to Busan on her birthday to see your mom. There is a zombie outbreak. Like I said, this is really condensed. Zombie outbreak, and during his journey, he discovers what is important, comes across compassionate, good people, and selfish, awful people. Seok Woo learns that his company is indirectly responsible for the outbreak, which I think I kind of forgot.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
I didn't notice, or I didn't care.
It doesn't really play into any unless it's supposed to be something.
Just a phone call, right?
Whatever, yeah.
Eventually, it's only the evil Yeon Suk. It's just the awful man. And small group of Seok Woo, his daughter, and pregnant Seong. Why did I write these names down? Seong Kyung make it alive to the last station, with Yong Suk deservedly being killed. That's the old guy, the monster. Before Seok Woo was bitten, which was so aggravating. But he puts his daughter and Seong Kyung in the engine room of the last train and says goodbye. That was a little heartbreaking. He thinks of his daughter's birth, and the two survivors make it to Busan and are rescued.
They make you don't think that at first. They make it.
The first time I watched it, I'm like,
one of these endings.
This would be the worst. It's like The Mist.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And you see all those bodies in the water too. I'm like, oh god, this is the end.
Yeah. So it was. That's basically it in a nutshell. The plot in a nutshell. But
it's a movie too.
I'm glad David liked it.
You could actually watch without subtitles and get almost the exact same thing out of it. Like
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
because you can just tell, even without knowing the language, you could tell everything going on.
That's true.
Even to the point, like, the dad and the kid couldn't sing, and he got the Wii. She's like, oh, she already has one.
Yes. Yep.
I mean,
Worst
little things.
Father of the Year.
Wasn't Father of the Year, but he redeemed
He
himself.
definitely
He totally did.
Arc.
Even that guy that was like the guy who ran on the train is like everyone's gonna die. He went back to save him like early on. He
Oh,
would
the
not
old,
have
yeah,
done
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Fuck it.
It
What was
was-
that? What was that crazy guy's deal? Anyways, that weird guy.
He's just like
I
a
thought
homeless
that when he
guy. I
died.
don't know.
Maybe
Yeah,
been
he
homeless.
saved-
saved. He
died
saved
again.
himself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he sacrificed himself, saved
He
himself.
did.
That'd be a deal.
Oh, right before, because the train was pinned, like the train
Yeah.
and trains, and then they came through the glass. That was awesome.
There was some great
bad for
shots.
him.
There was some horrifying shots of all the people falling on the train at the platform before when they get off, and they're told to get off that one, and then they're holding the door, and then
And I love
that scene was great.
that they're like, this is where you are. The military's here to get you. And the guy looks down, and he sees the bloody shield, and then you look and you
Yeah.
see the military standing there, and then you realize
And
they're
then, like,
all
oh,
infected.
they're zombies.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And they just run at you, and it's just. Oh, and I love when all the zombies chase the train and they start latching onto each other, and they make a train of
Okay,
people.
But I don't
Oh,
get
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
though. When it gets dark or they can't see them, they just stop. So why wouldn't they just waited until it got dark to try to get their escape?
Oh shit! You just you just ruined the whole movie. Just wait till that.
Where
till
were they going
nighttime.
to wait?
What?
When? Which part? Which
I would
part?
have stayed in the train until it got dark and then
The train they were
walked
on.
out.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, stayed where? Remember
In the room.
when they get back on the train, they don't even get to, the people that they split up.
Well, when they got away from the people who,
Yeah.
Oh,
Greg
okay.
Egan.
who shunned them, they went
Yeah,
in the
I
next
would have
room.
stayed right there.
That's true. That's true.
I would have stayed
Yeah.
right there that freaking train and wait till it got
Plot
dark. And
hole.
then walk
Well,
out
you can
together.
find us on Twitter, and you can,
No, it's a plot hole.
no, it is. It is a good.
Edit
It's a
that
good
out.
point.
I'm like, what the fuck?
That would have been a really boring movie. So, what do you want to do now? I brought a deck of cards.
Yeah. That's place.
It was an intense movie. I'll give
Oh,
it that.
It was very entertaining, and I think it was pretty original how they,
Yeah. I
they
thought so.
did different things on the train with the way they had to trick the
Well,
infected.
even figuring out how the infected became zombies, like what they thought before they actually became a zombie. Like that was kind of cool. Like a subtle
Right.
They weren't quite there.
introduction to what they actually do or think before they become a full-fledged zombie.
It's like it clicks in. Yeah.
Yeah. Great
When is
movie.
the zombie apocalypse gonna get here?
I don't know, but Dave. I thought at one
2020,
point Dave was
20,
going to be a
20.
prepper. 2012, he was ready for the end of the world, and I was like, I'm coming here. And I think he wanted me there because he probably would have used me as fodder, but I would have thought he was going to be there to save me. Instead, he'd be like, "Go out and get some oil for the lanterns," and I'd go outside.
We would have been in the Cox Lane basement.
I would have definitely pushed
impenetrable.
Mikey out. I would have been that guy that pushed Mikey into a zombie to run away.
I think they overdid it with he
Oh,
pushed
back
like
then.
three people out. He pushed like three people into other
The
people. The
train
girl he
conductor,
pushed in.
The
Yeah,
train
he pushed
conductor, kid.
but
fucking
the
bad.
baseball guy's friend, the girl, he pushed
He
her.
pushed her,
into
and
the-
then he just was so sad. I would have been like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Gotta go." But he's like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah, I
so
know.
distraught."
Even the guy in the blue
And then
jacket, the train conductor, whatever that guy
Oh,
was,
the
Yeah.
conductor.
Oh, yeah.
right
The
into a zombie.
guy went back to save him. He's like, "Thanks, buddy. I'm out of here." Zoinks.
He was a little over the top.
I thought there was.
I mean, some people would be like that,
Yeah,
I guess.
But I
So not-
forgot about him. Like I thought, oh, is there something redeeming that happens? Do we find out a secret? There's something major. He has the cure. Something. Nope. He's just a terribly
There's
selfish
something
person.
redeeming.
Nothing redeeming at all. But overall, this was a short podcast. No, this was it was a great
It's
movie.
probably. I mean, there's
Yeah,
only
it
so
was
much
so
to
fun.
say. I love it.
Listen, there's not a lot to speak about in this movie, but you know what? I fucking thought it was entertaining. I thought it was
was,
great.
It is.
I thought
It was.
I
It
thought
was. It's good.
I did
Mikey's
like
gonna have
the
to fill it
fucking
with
the big guy when he died was probably
whole
the
movie.
worst death. That was the worst death.
that. It was devastating. It really was.
Because
I
that guy
love
was
how he
badass.
put the tape on his arms, and
Yep.
but yeah, just him and his wife.
Oh,
The,
that
his
was
wife
great.
was pretty hot too.
David Hot Alert. Repeat. This is a David Hot Alert. This is not a test.
Oh, thank God.
There we
Okay, I
go.
can add that.
Thank God we
Okay.
got one of those.
That adds another 10 seconds in. Yes, I liked when
If she was pregnant.
he opened the bathroom and she saw him and she got like she poked him and it was like
Yeah,
it was
she was like
sweet,
mad
totally.
at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. They were the best, and the daughter, the young girl,
She was a
and
good
her
actress.
dad. They had a
Yeah.
great arc.
I was devastated when his hand got bit. I was devastated.
that
It
was
bothered me
Yeah.
a lot.
I know. I thought he was. I didn't think he was going to die. The two sisters, that was pretty cool. That was sad. You know?
Yeah.
Well, she's the one who. So yes, I didn't add that in my
I thought she got bit.
as
that
part of
second
my
one.
plot. But for those who haven't seen the movie who are listening to this, which you'd
Why
have
would
to be
you?
insane. Why would you? Just watch the fucking movie. The sisters, one of the sisters was she, what happened to one of them? She got separated.
One of them was separated with. She went slow and she was just kind of standing there like she didn't.
All right.
And then someone
And
jumped
then
her.
someone bit her.
Yeah.
So yes, so if you haven't seen it, like I said, insane. But the people all had the group. You know, the evil guy turned them on against those people. They could be infected, and they all started. They kicked them out of the. They first locked them out, which
if they
got
just
the
let
big
him do
guy
it, they'd be
killed.
fine.
You
Yep.
get the big guy killed, and then they wouldn't let them in, which was like just
And they
terrible.
all-
And so eventually, the other sister said, "I'm going to go let them in. You know, I want to see my sister. I'm going to let them all in." So they all deservedly died a horrible death.
Oh, that was great. The shot of just the
Too vicious, maybe, but they learned a lesson.
yeah.
They learned their
she wanted
lesson.
she wanted to give her sister one more hug.
Yes.
And you see just the silhouette and the blood splatter and the screaming. Oh,
Yes.
and I was like, that's
was
a
good
happy
stuff.
ending. Happy ending for them.
Hey, now.
So there is a sequel. It
Yes.
came out 4 years
I
later.
didn't
think.
even watch
Same
it.
Director. It's on Netflix. It's called Peninsula, and I believe it's got pretty poorly received. There's also a prequel.
That's why I didn't watch it.
There's an animated prequel that's a full length called Soul Station, which I don't know if it has anything to do with this train or anything like that, but that's on Prime Video. If people want to expand the Train to Busan universe, it's out there.
If I hear good things,
Yeah.
If Mikey, if you have time in your busy day, if you're done watching the Marvel sequels of that.
I've only watched one Marvel. I
Nobody
only
else
watched
sees.
one Marvel this month and one sort of Marvel the tangential.
Oh, God.
But it's Tom Hardy, so it's related to
Oh
today's
God,
movie.
was that was that must have been terrible. And
Yeah, it was the worst
You're
movie I
talking
think I've
about Venom,
seen. All that was.
Speaking of Tom Hardy, yes. So that was if anybody has good things to say about any of the sequel or show or whatever,
Yeah,
maybe I would check out.
I think it's the same.
What else
director
has this
did them
guy?
all.
What else has he directed?
So that's a great question. I know he directed the sequel called Peninsula. Let me look it up really quick and see if there's anything else.
I was lazy. Like I didn't know if he
that's
directed
of
Old Boy or anything.
he directed. I'm looking for nothing. Revelations 2025, Hellbound, a TV show, Colony. I don't know, like nothing.
Nothing that you
note.
familiar
No.
to. Yeah, it's surprising too because he
Even
this
before,
really was
nothing
popular and
that I've heard of.
kind of a cult classic.
Yeah. I think that's why it's still like, on Netflix 9 years later.
Yep.
Oh,
So
great one, guys.
We did great, Davey. So what
excellent.
what's next on your evening, Dave? Off to Newburyport again, home to bed?
Goes home.
Very good.
Goes home to
very
bed.
Very good. You should go to bed. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. While Davey's going to bed, people out there can follow us on Blue Sky at Fine Movies and Instagram at Fine Movies, Fine Spirits. Just so you get automatic. You would see exactly when new episodes are posted. But of course, you're already subscribed to our podcast. If you are, let's say you're on Spotify, you can click the little review. You can click the little star. If you're on Apple, you can write a review. Tell Chris how great he's doing. Tell Dave how good he looks, even though you're not seeing him. He still he thrives off stuff like
Just
that.
shut up. I'm
Please,
going.
please, please. until next time.
What are we doing next time?
That's a great question. I kind of forgot how this podcast worked for a second. I've been kind of doing so much shit this month.
Yeah.
Next time, we're going back 20 years from 2016. All the
Are
way
we?
back. Is that what, or we're doing something? Well, you know what? What are we doing? Are we going back 50 years?
What
Or we
was
going
in
back 20 years?
2016?
Train to Busan.
Oh, yes.
So we're going back 20
that's what
years.
I.
Yeah.
So
we're going back 20 years.
50 years.
So we're going back. Okay. I wasn't sure what we're doing next. We're going back 50 years from today. So we're going all the way back to
50 years from
1975.
tomorrow.
Not only are we
A
going
repeat.
back.
This is our first.
Yeah.
Besides Pottersville, this is our first repeat.
Not only are we going back in time,
gotta
we're
come up with
going
a clever
back to
name.
another podcast because we're having our first fine reunion, our first fine repeat. We're just when you thought it was safe to go back to the podcast. We're going back to do this right this time because the last time we did Jaws, I feel like Dave
It was
had to
there
leave
Were, there
to
were
go pick up his
production
son.
issues. There were probably
Now, will there be the same amount of editing as last
business.
time? F no. It's just going to be talking and posting. But we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Jaws by revisiting it,
Seems like
and talking
yesterday.
about it.
I was 5.
Yeah, it was, and I was -1. That's right.
Excellent.
I was just gestated. In fact,
Can't wait.
the movie premiere with my parents. Never mind. All right. Until next time, Christopher, are there any final words from you?
Nope. I just, I'll let you do the plug. I was going to plug my friend Mikey on Geek Mentality with his movie month.
Yeah, if you're,
I may be appearing on that, which will be later than you, which will be earlier than you hear this.
Right.
Podcast,
If you go back to Fans Not Experts and check out the June 19th episode of Movie Month for Geek Mentality, my friend Chris is joining us this evening. Dave has no idea what I'm talking about, and he has 1 foot out the door already. So Chris, I will talk to you in just a few minutes. David, I will see you this weekend.
All right, talk to you guys later.
All right. Goodbye.
See you,
Say goodbye, David.
Bye.
We talk about great movies while drinking. We talk about great movies while drinking. Yeah, we talk about great movies while drinking. And we feel fine.
Are you going by the house
Sunday? Yeah.
Yep.
Is it like your mother said, oh, people, will come whenever? Or
Yeah, I guess.
is it like, so it's not like a party at one time?
No.
No.
Okay.
It's like a goodbye
out
to the
then.
house party.
So I was walking around the house last Saturday. I saw my dad for Father's Day, but I was walking down towards our old rooms. Memories.
Oh,
Yeah.
There was a lot of loads of laundry, of laundry.
The laundry.
Fans Not Experts.